Hello and welcome back to another fantasy football video. Hope you guys are all doing well. We are creeping towards the end of double game week 23, heading in towards game week 24, which is a little bit of a lull before the storm because we do have a double/blank game week 25 around the corner, and then soon after that we have a double game week 27. So there is a lot to think about and a lot to plan for in the coming game week. So today we're going to be taking a look at potential strategies and teams to target, and then also taking a look at how the team does line up ahead of game week 24 and potential transfers that can be made as well. If you are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Well, let's get straight on into this one. So first and foremost, I thought we'd take a look at the fixtures for teams over the next 3 game weeks. We do have Newcastle and Manchester United, two popular sides, blanking in game week 25. So we're going to have to think about how we kind of plan to potentially drop those players for that game week or transfer those players out ahead of blank game week 25. Then we also have Brentford and Brighton also blanking in game week 25, both of whom have nice game week 24 fixtures and also do double in game week 27, but because of that blank I would hold off bringing any Brentford or Brighton players in just yet. We then have Liverpool and Wolves doubling in game week 25. Liverpool with a more favourable double playing its Crystal Palace away and then Wolves at home. The only player from Liverpool though that I've really got my eye on is Mohamed Salah. Now he does take up a massive chunk of your budget, coming in at 12.7 million, and in recent game weeks hasn't been performing particularly well either. So I'm still kind of humming and hawing over whether to actually kind of go for Salah, and I feel like you would potentially have to sacrifice some other players in order to bring Salah in. Then you have Wolves playing away to Fulham and away to Liverpool. I see quite a few people looking at the potential of bringing in a Wolves defensive asset. For those two fixtures, I don't really see Wolves keeping a clean sheet, but they do have a nice game week 24. So for me, if you're going to hop on the Wolves asset, you may as well hop on them before game week 24. In terms of attackers from Wolves, same, there's no one I really look towards and go, oh, you look particularly exciting. Maybe Adama Traore, but he hasn't necessarily been in favour for Wolves this season, so not a guaranteed starter. And so Wolves are probably a team I would avoid, even though they do have a double game week 25 and a good game week 24. Then the other teams that double are Arsenal and Everton. Arsenal, simply for me, you should just be having a triple up of Arsenal heading into game week 24, especially for the game week 25. Saka, I feel like, is a must own for that game week. Then you have to choose, I think, mainly between Nketiah and Odegaard as the other attacking option, and then probably go for Saliba or Gabriel as your defensive asset. Then for Everton, I think the defence is where we're going to be looking to for points. The likes of Tarkowski and Connor Cody, I think, are going to be targeted ahead of this game week. Tarkowski only coming in at 4.2 million. And did score in the Arsenal game, reunited under Sean Dyche. And another player reunited under Sean Dyche is Dwight McNeil. Could we see a little bit of a turn in form, a turn in favour for him now that he is under Sean Dyche? And Everton do come into game week 24 playing against Leeds at home. So if you are going to hop onto one of their assets, this could be a good time to do so. They then play against Villa at home. You could see them keeping a clean sheet there. And then Arsenal away. And although Arsenal are kind of one of the teams gunning for the title this season, they did keep a clean sheet in the reverse fixture, Everton, and so there is potential they may get a clean sheet again. But I do think the main assets from Everton are the defensive assets. I think you would be punting quite a lot going for the likes of Iwobi or Dwight McNeil. And for me, Calvert-Lewin has to show quite a bit more before I go transferring him in. In terms of single game week options over the coming weeks, I think Chelsea look pretty decent. They play against Southampton and Leeds, both at home in 24 and 26 respectively, and then also do play in the blank game week 25, and then also play in the blank game week 28. I know that's a little bit further away, but something to have in the back of your mind. You also have Leicester, who are currently in form. The likes of James Maddison and Harvey Barnes are looking particularly good at the weekend against Spurs, but they do play against Manchester Manchester United away, and then Arsenal at home. So personally, I would be steering clear of Leicester assets for now, but then going into 26, it could be they could be decent options, but that's for another day. So, taking a look at how the team does line up, but firstly, how have we done so far in game week 23? It's actually been quite a nice green arrow, sitting currently on 64 points, which is quite a bit above the average. I did play my triple captaincy on Erling Haaland. He managed to pick himself up an assist, but then got substituted off at half time, and then didn't step up to take the penalty because Mahrez took it off him. So that was quite frustrating to see, especially having not transferred in Mahrez for this game week. But I do think that Haaland will play in the Arsenal game and could quite easily go and score in that game as well. I have gone up 220k rank to 297k rank, and now really pushing for that top 100k. I didn't really think that I was going to get top 100k this season, because I was sitting at around 1.7 million rank after the World Cup, but it's been a really good return since the World Cup, and so I'm really going to try and gun for that top 100k. How is the team lining up? Well, we've got Ederson leading the line, but yet again against Aston Villa, he did not keep a clean sheet. And since transferring him in for Kepa, the net loss has been quite substantial. He may just about this week gain me some points because Kepa is only on 2 and Ederson currently sits on 2, but Ederson does have that extra game to play against Arsenal. Then taking a look at the defence, I'm quite comfortable playing this week. Brentford have been one of the more solid sides of late, only just about conceding to Arsenal, and they play against a Crystal Palace side who has really been struggling to score goals this season, especially away from home. So I could quite comfortably see keeping a clean sheet there, and even potentially nabbing a goal as well. He's been looking quite dangerous from set pieces. We then have Trippier, and Newcastle, quite surprisingly, have gone back-to-back games without keeping a clean sheet, but they do play against Liverpool, who this season have been quite poor. Another home fixture, and so for me, Trippier really does have to be played. He's shown this season that when he does keep a clean sheet, he gets plenty of bonus points, and there is even the potential of an attacking return in there as well. Talking of attacking returns, Luke Shaw managed to pick himself up a nice assist at the weekend, assisting Marcus Rashford and getting a 12-pointer against Leeds. That was really nice to see, especially after quite a few people had decided to transfer him out for that game against Leeds as a kind of plan ahead when they do blank in at game week 25. They play against Leicester at home. Leicester, a side that have been playing quite well recently, so I don't necessarily expect United to keep a clean sheet in this game, but I am favouring these players ahead of Ben White because they are playing at home compared to Ben White, who's playing against Villa away from home. And Arsenal, for whatever reason, haven't been as defensively solid as they were in the kind of first half of the season. It may be a little bit of nerves as they are now kind of clear title contenders and are very much at the minute getting hunted down by Manchester City. Then taking a look into the midfield, we've got a bit of a differential now in Andreas. He wasn't too much of a differential earlier on in the season, but a lot of people have chopped him off for the likes of Matoma. So going into this game, he is a differential, and it was quite nice to see him pick up an assist and a clean sheet point against Forest, overall picking up 6 points. Almiron came in very nicely at the weekend against Bournemouth, picking up a 10-pointer. Now he does currently have an injury next to his name, so if he does recover, I think I will play him. If not, I think Nonto will be coming in for him. Potential transfer plans around these guys. I think Almiron probably will be going out in game week 25 for me, to the likes of either Dwight McNeil, Gakpo or Salah. I think I will go for Gakpo if I can't afford Salah. But I feel like I will have to see something from Gakpo in the next couple of game weeks. Otherwise, I think Dwight McNeil will probably be the one for me. We then have the 2 Arsenal guys, Saka and Odegaard. Very pleased to own Saka. he is performing really well at the minute, and I can see Martinelli getting benched in the coming game weeks for the likes of Trossard. Yet to receive any attacking returns from Odegaard, but going to be nice and patient with him. Arsenal have got really nice fixtures going forward, and when Odegaard does get on the score sheet with an assist or a goal, he likes to pick up bonus points as well. And finally, rounding us off is Marcus Rashford at home to Leicester. Now, although Leicester have been good of late, they are still conceding goals, and I think Rashford is a genuine captaincy option going into this game week, but we will discuss that in a moment as we get into the attackers. Into the attackers now, and we have Haaland and Kane, and the reason I held off the captaincy chat with Rashford is because these are really, for me, the two main other captaincy options. It's basically a decision this week of, do you go for the effective ownership with Haaland? Do you punt a little bit with the inform man Marcus Rashford? Or do you go for Harry Kane? A London derby against West Ham at home. Kane has been on fire so far this season. And so I feel like either one of those assets is a good player to captain. For me, I may still go with the grain and go with Haaland just because of the effective ownership. But I see real merit in the potential of captaining Rashford or Kane. For me, I think Rashford is the more explosive of the two, and I could quite easily see him go and getting a couple of goals in this game. But it is a risk to not captain Haaland. So this has been a quick little look ahead to game week 24. For me, I feel like the best strategy going into this game week is to just hold the transfer unless you have 2 free transfers. That's because it will give you 2 free transfers going into the blank/double game week 25. And then you'll have all the information that you need in order to make your transfers. And I mean, you could potentially go for an early move on a Tarkowski, maybe even Salah, if your budget is a little bit restricted. But for me, I would be holding off on those moves. We've got some very interesting times ahead with FPL, with that blank/double gaming, and then the double gaming in 27 as well. If you do enjoy this content, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new around here, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.